I said yes to an offer that made everyone around me go silent. Not the good kind of silent, the kind where people don't know if they should stop you or just let you fail. Here's what the offer was: a 1-year contract, fixed pay, no equity, no bonuses, no upside. The company was bleeding money, the product didn't work, the team was half the size it needed to be. And the role? It wasn't even what I did. It wasn't what I was good at. It wasn't what anyone would put on a resume and feel proud. The salary was less than what I was making freelancing, less than what I'd been offered 2 weeks earlier by a stable company with benefits, a clear path, and a brand name that actually meant something. My family didn't understand. My closest friends said I was overthinking it. One person, someone I respected, looked me in the eye and said, "You're better than this." And honestly, I didn't disagree. I sat with that offer for 3 days, read it over and over like I was missing something, like maybe there was a hidden clause, a stock option buried in the fine print, a verbal promise I'd forgotten. There wasn't. But here's the thing no one knew. I wasn't looking at the offer. I was looking at the door. Because sometimes the worst offer in the room is the only one that leads somewhere real. Let me take you back. A year before this, I was doing fine. Not great, but fine. Freelancing, a handful of clients, decent income, flexible schedule. I could work from anywhere, I could say no to things, I had control. At least, that's what I told myself. But if I'm being honest, I was stalling. I had the skills, I had the experience, I had the network, but I didn't have momentum. Every project felt the same. Every contract was a repeat of the last one. I wasn't learning, I wasn't growing, I wasn't building toward anything. I was just earning. And that's when the fear started creeping in. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that whispers at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. What if this is it? What if 5 years from now you're still doing the same thing? What if you're good enough to stay comfortable, but not brave enough to become anything more? I started saying yes to things I didn't want to do, just to feel like I was moving. I took on clients I didn't like, projects I didn't care about, calls that drained me. And the worst part? It worked. I stayed busy, I stayed paid, I stayed stuck. That's when I got the first offer, the good one. A senior role at a mid-sized company. Stable, respected, good salary, clear structure. It checked every box. My parents were proud, my friends congratulated me. I even started imagining what I'd do with the extra income. But something didn't sit right. I couldn't name it at first. It just felt like more of the same. A bigger title, a bigger paycheck, the same ceiling. I'd be good at it, I'd probably get promoted, I'd be comfortable, but I wouldn't be challenged. So I stalled, told them I needed a week to think about it. And during that week, I got a message from someone I'd worked with years ago, someone I barely remembered. He said he was starting something, said it was messy, said it probably wouldn't work. Said he needed someone who wasn't afraid to figure things out on the fly. He didn't sell me on the vision. He didn't promise me anything. He just said, if you want to learn what you're actually capable of, this is the place. That sentence stayed with me. I asked to see the offer. He sent it over, and when I opened it, I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so clearly, objectively, undeniably worse than what I had in front of me. Lower pay, longer hours, no safety net, no clear outcome. The company had 6 months of runway, maybe. The product had users, but no revenue model. The team was 4 people, including me if I said yes. One of them wasn't even full-time. This wasn't a startup with buzz. This wasn't a risky but promising opportunity. This was a long shot that most people would walk away from in the first 5 minutes. I called my mentor, told him about both offers. He listened, didn't interrupt, didn't react, and when he finished, he asked me one question. Which one scares you more? I didn't even hesitate. The second one. He nodded. Then you already know what to do. I hung up, and I still didn't know. Because fear isn't always a compass. Sometimes fear is just fear. Sometimes the thing that scares you is just a bad idea dressed up as courage. I made a list, wrote down every reason to take the safe offer, then every reason to take the risk. The safe column was longer, by a lot, but the risk column had one line I couldn't ignore. You'll never wonder what you were capable of. That's the line that kept me awake, because I'd spent the last 2 years wondering if I'd gotten comfortable too early, if I'd peaked without knowing it, if I'd chosen safety over growth so many times that I'd forgotten how to choose anything else. I didn't want to be 40 and still wondering, so I did something I don't usually do. I imagined both futures, 5 years out. In the first one, I had the title, the salary, the stability. I'd bought a place, maybe traveled a bit. I was respected. I was comfortable. But when I tried to picture what I'd learned, I came up blank. In the second one, I didn't know if the company survived. I didn't know if I succeeded. But I knew I'd be different. I knew I'd have tried something that actually tested me. I knew I wouldn't be wondering anymore. I called him back. Told him I needed to know one thing. If this falls apart in 3 months, will I regret it? He didn't sugarcoat it. Probably. But if you don't try, you'll regret it longer. That was it. I accepted the offer that night, turned down the safe one the next morning, and for the next 48 hours, I felt like I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. My stomach was in knots. I couldn't focus. I kept reopening the contract like I could still back out. But I didn't. The first month was worse than I expected. Not just hard, chaotic. There was no onboarding, no documentation, no process. Just a list of things that were broken and a silent agreement that I'd figure it out. I worked longer hours than I ever had freelancing. I took on tasks I had no business doing. I failed at things I thought I'd be good at. And the pay? It felt insulting compared to what I'd walked away from. There were nights I'd sit in front of my laptop at midnight, exhausted, wondering if I'd confused bravery with stupidity. But something started to shift around week 6. I stopped comparing, stopped thinking about the other offer, stopped calculating what I'd lost, because I realized something. I was learning faster than I had in years. Not theory, not best practices, not someone else's playbook. I was learning by breaking things, by being wrong, by having no choice but to figure it out. I was building skills I didn't even know I needed. I was having conversations I never would have had in a bigger company. I was making decisions that actually mattered. And yeah, some of them were bad decisions, but they were mine. Month 3, we almost ran out of money. I'm not exaggerating. We had 1 payroll left, maybe 2 if we stretched it. The founder called an all-hands meeting. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't hype us up. He just said, "We have 8 weeks to make this work. If we don't, we're done. If anyone wants to leave, I'll understand." No one left. Not because we were naive, because we'd already invested too much to walk away. And because, weirdly, we believed we could do it. That's the thing about being in a situation where failure is the default. You stop seeing it as the worst-case scenario. You start seeing it as the thing you're actively fighting against. We worked like we'd never worked before. Not burnout work, not hustle culture work. Focused work, intentional work. Every conversation mattered. Every decision had weight. We cut features, we changed the pricing model, we reached out to users we'd been ignoring. We did things that felt desperate. And some of them worked. We closed a deal that bought us 3 more months, then another one, then another. By month 6, we weren't profitable, but we were alive. And I'd become someone I didn't recognize. In the best way. Here's what I didn't expect. The skills I built in that time didn't just help the company, they changed how I saw myself. I stopped waiting for permission, stopped needing a clear path, stopped needing someone to tell me I was ready, because I'd been thrown into situations where no one knew the answer, where I had to make the call, where I had to trust that I'd figure it out. And I did.
Not perfectly, not elegantly, but I figured it out. And once you do that enough times, you stop doubting whether you can. You just start asking, what's next? By the end of year 1, the company had stabilized. We hit profitability, not by much, but enough. The team grew, the product worked, we had momentum, and people started noticing. I started getting offers again, better ones this time, from companies that saw what I'd done, that wanted someone who could build in the chaos. One of them offered me 3 times what I'd been making, with equity, with a team under me, with the title I'd wanted 2 years earlier. And this time, I didn't feel conflicted. I didn't take it. Not because it was a bad offer, because I finally understood the difference between a good opportunity and the right one. The right opportunity isn't the one that looks best on paper. It's not the one that makes the most sense to everyone else. It's the one that puts you in a position to become who you need to be next. And most of the time, that opportunity doesn't look like an opportunity at all. It looks like a risk, a downgrade, a step backward. It looks like something you'd be crazy to say yes to. But here's what I learned.
The opportunities that change you are never the safe ones. They're the ones that make you uncomfortable, that force you to grow, that don't give you the luxury of staying the same. Looking back, I didn't say yes to that offer because I knew it would work out. I said yes because I knew I couldn't stay where I was. I couldn't keep choosing comfort over growth. I couldn't keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect offer, the perfect conditions. Because perfect doesn't exist, and waiting for it is just another way of staying stuck. The worst offer I ever received taught me something the best offer never could have. That you don't grow by choosing what's easy. You grow by choosing what's necessary, even if no one else understands it, even if it doesn't make sense yet, even if you're terrified. Year 2, we raised funding. Not a lot, but enough to breathe, enough to hire, enough to scale. I got promoted, got equity, got the security I'd walked away from. But none of that mattered as much as what I'd gained in year 1. Because year 1 taught me how to build, how to lead when no one knows the answer, how to make decisions with incomplete information, how to trust myself when there's no safety net. Those skills, they don't show up in a job description. They don't come from a course or a mentor or a book. They come from doing the thing you're not ready for and surviving it. A few months ago, I ran into someone who'd taken the safe offer I'd turned down. We grabbed coffee. I asked how it was going. He said it was good, stable, predictable. He'd gotten promoted once, was on track for another. He seemed fine. Not unhappy, not unfulfilled, just fine. And then he asked me, "Do you ever regret it, turning down that offer?" I thought about it, not because I wasn't sure, but because I wanted to give him an honest answer. No, not even once. He nodded, but I could see it in his eyes. He regretted not taking the risk. Here's the thing about safe choices. They're not wrong. Sometimes safe is exactly what you need. Sometimes stability is the brave choice. But if you're choosing safe because you're afraid, if you're choosing it because you don't believe in yourself, if you're choosing it because you think you'll get another chance later, you won't. Later never comes. The opportunities that define you don't wait. They show up once, looking nothing like you expected, asking you to trust yourself before you're ready. And if you say no because it doesn't make sense, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you'd said yes. I'm not saying you should take every bad offer. I'm not saying you should ignore red flags or bet everything on a long shot. I'm saying, if there's something in you that knows you're capable of more, if there's a voice that keeps asking what if there's a door that scares you more than it excites you, that's the one you walk through. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because the version of you on the other side of that door is the one you're supposed to become. And you don't get there by playing it safe. 3 years later, I'm not at that company anymore. I left on good terms, helped transition my role, watched it keep growing without me, and I'm grateful for that, because it taught me the most important lesson I've ever learned. You don't need the perfect opportunity. You need the one that forces you to become better. The one that doesn't hand you the answers. The one that makes you earn every bit of progress. The one that breaks you down just enough to build you back stronger. That's the opportunity that changes everything. And most people never take it, because it looks like the worst offer they've ever seen. So if you're staring at two paths right now, one that makes sense and one that makes your heart race, one that everyone's telling you to take and one that no one understands, one that feels safe and one that feels like jumping off a cliff, I can't tell you which one to choose, but I can tell you this. 5 years from now, you won't remember the path that made sense. You'll remember the one that changed you. The one that made you who you needed to be. The one that looked like a mistake until it wasn't. I said yes to the worst offer I'd ever seen, and it became the best decision I ever made. Not because it worked out, but because it worked on me. The question isn't whether the opportunity is good. The question is whether you're brave enough to become the person who makes it good. Because sometimes the worst offer is the only one worth taking.